try to protect someone who is committed to defend the very thing that is hurting them. So last night I had a situation or kerfuffle in my women's group where I tried to bring something to a young lady's attention. Say, hey, I seen you on this live, or I seen you on this podcast or whatever. And I said, I didn't like the way they were talking to you. You know, I said, that's not appropriate. You know, especially for a woman, you shouldn't be talked to like that. And this woman said, well, I was always talked like that, you know, and everything else. And I was like, that needs to stop. And so she started to get irate and get upset at me. And I had to get her off, you know, long story short, I had to get her off there. And she went on this long rant to play victim. And I'm like, you're getting upset at me. And I'm saying things out of love. I'm saying that hey, you shouldn't be talked to that way. I noticed that. And no man should talk to you that way. I don't care what what you've been through. It stops. And me as a man is seeing this, how I can't watch that and not say something. And that's when it dawned on me. Never try to protect someone who is committed to defend what is hurting them. A lot of people don't know what love is. A lot of people have been ignored, and because of their behavior, and people just ignore them and avoid them, they actually think that their behavior is justified because people are ignoring them. It's just that people don't want to go back and forth with you. People don't love you enough to tell you the truth that your behavior or what you're accepting or what you allow or even your tolerance is the problem, because you consistently wants to defend it, right? And I was talking to my OG this morning, and he said something to me, right? And he said, you have to be careful. He said, I ever told you the story about my uncle? I was like, no. And he said, my uncle went to the neighbor's house, right? Because the neighbor would always get, abused. And at this point, we were all outside and everything. And so the abuse was happening, outside. My uncle had enough. So he went over there and he wanted to do something. He was going to go approach the dude. He's, going up there and fighting the guy or whatever. And the guy pulled out a pum and unalived him. The woman testified on behalf of the man, and the case was dismissed, basically. Or not guilty or whatever they do in court. And he said he knew then. He knew then. And that never happened to me. I've never ever had that in my life. But it was something to see last night. Some people you can't help. And a lot of times you have to be very mindful and careful of who you are trying to protect. And a lot of people don't look at your protection as love, and they don't want it. They don't want your protection. They don't want your love. They're telling you they don't want your love. They don't want it. They're saying it in so many words that they don't want your love. They don't want anything that you have, because the person they want it from is the person who's abusing them. And when you try to bring it to their attention, when you try to bring something to the forefront, they will freaking get mad at you for doing so. When you try to expose it, when you try to say, hey, that's not what you're supposed to go through, that's not what you're supposed to go be in, they will freaking hurt you, right? Just to get you away from them, to say, no, I deserve this, because of whatever issues inside of them. A lot of people don't know what love is. And if they think the love comes at the hand of a fist or someone talking to them and enduring and tolerating things. People who know me know I don't allow people to communicate to me a certain way. I don't allow it. You're not going to raise your voice at me. You're not going to elevate your voice. I'll look at you, and the next thing you know, I'm off. I'm removing you out of my life, permanently. That goes for mother, father, children, whoever. It don't matter who it is. You're not raising your voice at me, right? That don't make me a man to sit there and let somebody disrespect me and insult me and take it and then wait until you realize my worth and my growth and who I am. I'm not. That's stupid to me. You'll realize my worth when I walk away from your ass. That's me, right? So, and I do that because I don't have to tolerate that. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave and remove and let you sit here and figure out what type of chew toy you want to chew on, because it ain't going to be me, right? But I understand now from last night that not everybody's in that space. Not everybody's in that space. And sometimes you have to be able to walk away from people, right? To be like, okay, you go handle that. Because in her mind, that's okay. In her mind, I'm chastising her by telling her how you were being talked to and belittled and demeaned is not conducive to what a woman should be talked to, or any human being, right? That person want to axe the grind. You don't be the grind. Go figure out what you want to do with your life. I know you're not going to talk to me that way. And a lot of people, because of our social conditionings and because of our environment and because what we were raised on, we think it's okay for us to talk to. Just because you were abused in the past don't mean that you consistently allow it. That don't mean nothing. It ain't got nothing to do with the present. And a lot of you need to realize that and stop allowing people to communicate to you in a disrespectful tone and way. You're a human being that deserves respect. You could get your point across without being there, and don't try to mask it under saying it's passion. Nah, you yelling at me and you gonna stop, right? And there's a difference, especially when it's disrespectful. So my issue, with people is that a lot of us don't recognize that because we've grown up in some tumultuous environments that makes us conditioned to bad behavior, to accept bad behavior. You don't accept that. Now that you're aware of it, nah, man, I don't accept that. I don't allow no one to talk to me a certain way. No, I remove myself. And I say this all the time. I said I don't trust passive aggressive people because they do that. They blame everything on you and say, you made me talk to you this way. You made me say this to you. If you wouldn't have did this, if you did what I was supposed to do, that person is absent and voided of respect to you because they don't go to work like that. So you don't go to work that way. So why you think you can talk to me that way? But you come home and you have no respect for me. Respect is the highest form of love. Remember that. Respect is the highest form of love. Peace.